Hello YouTube, this is Insane Monster. Now, if I did this right, you would have seen the commercial. And as for why that is, look in the community tab and also look in the description below and in future videos as well. So with that taken care of, let's get on with the video. If you remember, last time, Deku is officially a hybrid now and has one for all. As him and Ochako go to the UA entrance exam, he doesn't trip like in canon. He's a lot more confident, agile, and a lot stronger now. As for the theory, the written portion of the exam, he does the same as in canon. And unlike in canon, he's a lot more calm and chilled, focusing as hard as he can, though with the idea of the guy that killed his birth parents being the Lycan still out there. It is always in the back of his head wondering what he's going to do about it. So he doesn't really end up with either chewing them out. Once they get to the starting point of heading to the practical exam to start, he gets focused and hyped up, ready to go, transforming. Though when he does change, it seems that everybody is a little unnerved from the bone snapping sounds he's making, as well as his skin and eye color changing to the way it is. For dark with dark skin with dark whites of the eyes and silver colored eyes now, which is when President Mike yells and begin. Instantly he rushes in, trying to see what he can really do against these robots without One for All in this new hybrid form he has, tearing them to shreds. Smack, just full on breaking them or like punching into them and ripping them from inside out. The other examinees are impressed with his raw power, even though that his appearance seems a little kind of scary, especially with the fangs. So he does end up racking up a large number of points, which he then starts to walk and feels the rumbling of the ground with other examinees running away. When he looks back, he sees the 0 pointer, saying, "That's a bit excessive." When he's about to leave, he hears somebody crying out. Looking, seeing it's Ochako. He hurries up and blitzes right towards the robot. Charging up One for All, he jumps up, going right to its face, punching it. And since he's a hybrid now, he can handle the power. Without the recoil and breaking his arms, the robot just got its whole head blown off of its body. As he goes to land, he went to go see if Ochako was okay, only to see that some rubble that the arm slammed into a building and dropped caused damage to her torso, severe damage. The exam was stopped a couple of seconds early, and Recovery Girl hurried up and brought her, using her power the best as she could to try to keep her alive. Her parents were called in, and while Deku was waiting, well, not very long waiting, he pulled out his phone and called his mom, telling her to bring the book. All Might, in his Small Might form, was looking over over the infirmary, worried about his successor. Ochako's parents were just crying, thinking that their daughter was going to die, which is when Izuku came in. He'd start to say that there is a way to save her, but doing so would mean she wouldn't be human anymore. They were confused and showed the book as well as his transformation he turned into. Once he was fully transformed, he took his claws and stabbed himself right into the chest, showing that his body rapidly healed, saying that she could gain this rapid healing ability too, but she wouldn't be human anymore. As they look through the books, they're wondering, she's already dying, but if you can save her, please. Recovery Girl's freaking out, worried about what he's going to do. Ochako's somewhat conscious, and Deku goes over to her and asks her, I can help save you, but doing so would mean that you wouldn't be human. I won't do it unless you agree to it. As he holds her hand, she smiled slightly and shook her head, yes, since she couldn't speak. In his transformed state, he asked everyone to leave. Recovery Girl stayed because he wasn't going to leave her patient alone to have some unknown procedure done to her, which is when Deku bit into her neck, with Recovery Girl freaking out, trying to stop him, but Inko held her back, telling her it's alright, she's gonna be okay. Ochako is worried, she's afraid, but she she's letting it happen because she knows that she can trust Izuku. As he pulls away from biting her neck, he takes his claws and scratches his arm, causing him to bleed. Removing the oxygen mask from her face, he places it up to her mouth, his arm up to her mouth, and telling her to drink. He goes ahead and drinks. He slightly falls asleep, with Inko releasing Recovery Girl and Recovery Girl going to see her, which she found something very surprising. Her fatal wounds were beginning to heal rapidly. Though she couldn't hear a heartbeat, she was still hearing her breathe. Didn't understand what was going on. Not entirely. Then she asked, the book you showed them, what exactly was it? Inko gave her the book, and she was surprised to see the contents. Vampires? Lichens? Are you serious? I thought they were just myths. Izuku stated, yeah, my birth father was a lichen who had a uniqueness about him. He also had a certain vial with vampire blood. I drank that, and now I'm a hybrid between the two. With Recovery Girl stating, wait, if you're a mix between the two, then what's gonna happen to her? The Deku just scratches his head, saying, I'm not sure. We just have to wait. As for what's happening in Ochako's body, the presence of Lichen and Vampire are somewhat competing to see which one will take over in Ochako, being determined by the individual rather than in all that. As it happens, the vampire portion won over in Ochako. He was fully healed and was resting. Once Ochako's parents came back in and saw that she was healed, though she felt cold. They heard her breathe, but her mother went to check and she didn't hear a heartbeat. All she could hear was her breathing. She, she just stood back up and said, "So, she's really not human anymore? But what does that mean for her?" Izuku stated that it won't really change who she is, just what she is. She's still your daughter, so you shouldn't have to worry. Nervously, her mother accepted that, though her father was still confused. After a couple of minutes, Ochako opened her eyes, though instead of the normal brown eyes, her eyes were silverish blue. When she sat up, she felt odd, weird. And when she got up and saw the mirror in Recovery Girl's office, she saw the change to her eyes. She started to freak out a little bit, but kind of like a silent freak out, like just kind of the bizarre kind of feeling. And when she opened her mouth, she saw her fangs. With Izuku stating, "Looks like the vampire trait kind of popped up." With when hearing that and realizing she's next to the window, she starts freaking out, though quickly realizes she's not burning, asking, "I thought vampires burned up in the sunlight." This is weird. Deku explains that it's because I had you drink my blood. You're immune to it now. Though I don't know um what other kind of things that were restrained and such. Besides thanking Izuku, though still kind of confused and weirded out by everything. Though still happy to be alive. As they begin to leave, Recovery Girl asks to look through that book of his and that whispering that she'll have Toshinori return it to him. So he agrees. He has wondered ever since All Might figured out what he is, whether or not he should change All Might. He While they were leaving, he actually asked him that. But he said, "I lived a long enough life, and it was a good life. I've already passed down my power to you. So I'll teach, so I'll be doing some things to help the next generation. And once that's over, I could just rest then. Yeah, I appreciate it, but for me, a long life might get kind of boring." So Zuko accepted that and left. While uh, Inko and Ochako's parents were walking ahead of them, Ochako and Deku were talking. She complained about her senses being all heightened, with Izuku saying that that's pretty normal. You just have to practice restraining your senses so that they don't overwhelm you, especially in a crowded area. First time it happened, I almost got my eardrums blown out. But at least that's how it felt. And Ochako said, "Thanks for saving me, but what exactly happens now?" Deku sighs and says, "Well, for that, we'll just have to wait and see. It's possible that drinking my blood ended up negating the effects of you needing to drink other blood. So even if it did, you'll most likely still have the ability to see others' memories through their blood. Which he just says, "Whoa, what? Are you serious?" He smirks, saying, "Yep, vampires have the ability to see people's memories from drinking their blood. Something that comes quite in handy. Though I haven't tried it myself, I just know about it." Once they got home, Deku was just worried about anything that might happen to Ochako. As for Ochako, her heightened senses made it a little hard to sleep, and she heard every word her parents were talking about, worrying about their daughter, worrying if it's going to cause any problems for her being apparently a vampire now, completely shocked that their daughter's boyfriend is some kind of werewolf or vampire hybrid thing. They're just not sure what to think. But more than anything, they're just glad that their daughter is okay. After some time passed, All Might, before he got his entry letter, All Might called uh, Izuku Midoriya and asked them to meet up. They go meet up at Dagobah Beach, where All Might gives him back the book Recovery Girl borrowed, though Recovery Girl was there as well, requesting a blood sample from him and Ochako to monitor their, physic- their physical being, just in case. Since there's no public record of this kind of stuff, she wants to keep track of it and make sure that there won't be any future problems. He says it's fine with him, but you'd have to ask Ochako if she'll let you take her blood. The recovery girl states that that's fine. I'll ask her once I get to see her. Later on, they both got their UA entrance letters and found out that they both got in and were going to be in the same class. As they walk over to the classroom, Ochako said something to Izuku, saying thanks. It was so crazy last time that I didn't get a chance to say thanks for saving me. Izuku said no problem, though I am sorry that you aren't human anymore, but I am glad you're still around. Chaco blushing a bit, smiling. Though it is weird, my parents been talking a lot of worrying over me, though it doesn't seem like I've been having any need to drink blood. I guess drinking yours kind of negated what the legends say about their thirst, huh? Also, it's kind of fun being a daywalker vampire. Also, kind of fun to be saying that I'm a daywalker vampire. Izuku just states, I can kinda get that. Just don't go off and telling people what you are. It might make things all very complicated. Which then Ochako just realized, wait a minute, if I'm a vampire, I'm gonna be stuck like this, aren't I? At this age. With Deku kinda looking away nervously, and they're saying, I knew it! With her sign saying, I guess I'm good looking like a teenager, or I guess forever. I'm not really sure. To Izuku's knowledge, he doesn't know much about the vampire's rate of aging, so he can't really help her with that. As they get into class, they see Bakugo arguing with Ida. Everybody noticed them, and Ida obviously goes over and does the same statement to Deku about his heroicness and being a better student and all that, knowing the secret of the test. Though he tried to explain, he then got interrupted with Ida being shocked at Ochako's back already, being worried about the injury that she sustained during the exam. See, he says she was fine, which is when we get Aizawa telling them all to be quiet. After introducing himself as their teacher, he tells them all to get dressed in the gym uniforms and head to the field. Obviously, they are obviously they're a little surprised by that because they thought they had to go to orientation. But he just states this is his classroom and he'll run it the way he wants. With everyone dressed, he tosses the ball to Izuku, telling him to throw it. With Bakugo waiting, thinking that he was quirkless, well, thinking that his wolf form might look kinda cool for this, but being surprised by the new form he has, smaller but more powerful, and not as hairy. Though you can visibly see the kind of gloom look on Mineta from hearing though his bones snap when he transforms, kind of having a cringe look, along with some of the other students. As he takes the ball, he charges up one for all and full on chucks it, sending it completely off all the to the point to where it gets to, let's say, 8 to the point of more or less 6,800 meters, I'd say. And everyone is just shocked by how much power he's packing, with Bakugo being pissed that he's been holding out on me. Though he doesn't charge at him now since he kinda knew he had a transformation quirk, though he didn't know he had some kind of different transformation other than the wolf one. As for Ochako, she actually does a lot better in the physical portion and at all the exams. So after she's done, she kind of looks down, thinking, "Huh, I'm really not human, aren't I? I even broke the hand grip machine." With Izuku saying, "It's fine, I did the same." But her remark saying, "Yeah, but it only hits me right till now that I'm really not human anymore, aren't I?" At the end of the exam for measuring their capabilities, Aizawa stated that luckily no one's getting expelled. After, no one really stated anything about using their quirks. They were already kind of as uneased by the snapping sounds from Izuku's bones when he transformed, so that didn't cause much of a problem. Though they were like, "Wait, what? We could have gotten expelled?" With them just looking at him. As they go home, Bakugo rushes to him, demanding an answer to that new form. With Izuku making up something saying that his form somewhat matured, becoming more compact and powerful. With Bakugo just being pissed, saying, "You damn nerd!" as he storms off. With Ochako saying, he really should take a chill pill. With Izuku saying, "No arguments here." After that, on the next day, with All Might announcing that coming into the class with his old costume, stating that they're going to be doing combat training. As for the lineup, it's the same as in the canon, and Deku's costume is more of a black cloak, combat cargo, black cargo pants with combat boots and the same metal mask from his updated costume in canon. Once the whole test starts, they decide to divide to go after different targets. That's figuring that Bakugo would hurry up and go against him to try to prove something, since he grew with her stating, "How do you know that?" He just replies with, "I grew up with him, so I know how prideful he is." And yes, he is literally that prideful. So she agrees. When Bakugo comes rushing in with his explosions, he's able to dodge along with Ochako. With her increased speed, senses, and such, she hurries up to go to the bomb. Izuku knows he can't really use, has to hold back a lot, knowing that using one for all recklessly in here would just cause the place to collapse on him. So, more or less, while Bakugo is attacking him, he dodges and tries to throw him around. Though he gets sick of it and then starts using his gauntlets, releasing a large explosion that envelops him. He transformed to take the brunt. When the smoke cleared, All Might is yelling at Bakugo to not use those gauntlets again, or him and his team will be automatically losing the exercise. When he saw Deku, some of his skin got a little charred off, but was quickly and rapidly healing. With the other, with all the students in there being surprised, Kaminari saying his transformation quirk has a sub ability of regeneration. That's pretty awesome. Plus, his transformation looks pretty sick. Bakugo rushes in for attack, but Izuku is just done with this, going full on towards him, slamming him in the gut, following up by a kick to the face, sending him flying, slamming into the wall. He was mostly passed out, barely holding on to consciousness, which gave Deku enough time to tie him up. And with the capture tape, with All Might saying, "Bakugo is captured." This is around the time Ochako finally finds the bomb and states that, and with Ida stating that there isn't anything for her to use her zero gravity on. Though she rushes toward Ida, Ida tried to use his engine legs to try to get the bomb away, though her increased strength and speed aren't nothing to disregard, though he doesn't know about it. When she tries to go around her, she quickly changes her direction, blitzing at him, slamming him with her shoulder that sends him flying, giving her a chance to grab the bomb as it falls to the ground. With All Might stating, "Heroes win," with everyone congratulating Ochako and uh, e- and Izuku. They are pretty glad that they won, and some of their classmates are pretty excited to have some real powerhouses to train with. Though Ida's confused. He didn't think Ochako had that kind of strength, power, and speed. So he's a little confused. As the school days ends, Ochako, Izuku, and now Ida go off to go home. with Ida asking, I didn't know you were that strong, Ochako. It's quite impressive. Ochako nervously said, thanks, I did a lot of training. And asked, you two seem rather close. Do you know each other before coming here? With them kind of blushing a bit, with Ida just looking at him saying, I see. It's like that. With Izuku saying, what do you mean it's like that? It's like what? With Ida just saying, well, you're free to have to date whoever you want. With them just blushing a bit and heading off to the train station to get home. Ochako's been surprised about how powerful and such, though it's more of a quiet freak out for her when she uh, does something with a bit too much power without meaning to. Thinking, I really need to rein in the strength and speed. I really could have hurt Ida. Now, this is where we'll be ending this part of the What If for now. I do hope that you have enjoyed. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, I've recently been contacted by Beautiful Halo, and I'm actually helping promote their stuff. If you want to see, if you want a link, go into the description below, as well as the description below in my future videos. So yeah, hope you enjoyed, have a good day, and see you later.